Now here's a wonderful colour, quinacridone gold, made up actually of 3 individual pigments, 2 quinacridones and 1 nickel complex. It's just dynamite to work with. Green gold, some of you will have already tried it. Another very, very exotic pigment yellow 129, horrendously expensive to buy, but fortunately it's quite thirsty, so it compensates for itself. In other words, it takes up a lot of oil. Ultramarine, of course, probably by far the most popular blue in anyone's palette. Cadmium, where would we be without the permanence and excellence of cadmiums? If you want a really robust red that's going to last you, then cadmium red is the one to go to. Amethyst, of course, is this wonderful jewel-like quality. Another mix we put together from such fantastic shades of pigment. Indian yellow, not to be confused with the original ones made from mango leaves and cows in the Far East using cow's urine. This is made from a diarylamide pigment, which is very light fast and has very similar shades to that of the original Indian yellow. And I have another favourite here, quinacridone gold. This is actually made up of 3 pigments, pigment red 209, pigment violet 19, and pigment yellow 150. All of those are just crazy colours in their own right. But if you have a look at this, you'll see that again it's just one of those colours that's just like yelling at you, paint me, paint with me. Look at that. There's a million things you can do to that. Add more quinacridone, add an ultramarine blue, the choice is yours. It's another favourite. I mean, instant sunset, look at that. Crazy, crazy yellow. People often say to me, tell me something interesting about your colours, and a couple which I often show people to get sort of weird little journeys going is transparent oxide red, phthalocyanine blue. Now, lots of paint makers have these 2 wonderful pigments in their range, but the question I pose to people is, what colour do you get? What colour do you think you get if you mix those 2 together? Transparent oxide red with phthalocyanine blue, phthalo blue, in other words. People call out purple or black or anything like that, and then when I demonstrate, in fact I'm going to use my finger on this so we can really see what's going on, believe it or not, you get a green. Who would have thought of that? I mean, and a proper green as well. It's not like a green made, say, with black and yellow. I think you'll all agree that that is almost a bottle green there. When you see it, it makes sense, but if you're trying to sort of guess, many people, as I say, call out purple or black or something like that, but it has this interesting sort of crossover point where those 2 interact. Now that for me is what I call a journey. It's taking you somewhere you didn't expect to go. I'm not saying it's going to be useful in your painting, but it's fun, and sometimes when things happen on the palette that are fortuitous, it can make the painting that much more interesting. The other interesting aspect of this, of course, is seeing it next to the green here. Because they're both made of the same acrylic resin, the same formula, all that really changes is the pigment nature and colour. There's no reason why you couldn't, let me just take a bit of that. Have some fun. If you wanted to tone it, if you found that you wanted to do something else, there's nothing to stop you doing that. Always allow the priming coats to dry between layers, and of course give it a good few hours before you commence your oil painting. But the great thing about this product range is that when you apply oil paint upon it, it doesn't suck all the oil out, making it go dull. And so you don't need retouch varnishes or oiling out. And it keeps that paint looking wonderfully luscious and moist. I have another favourite here, quinacridone gold. This is actually made up of 3 pigments, pigment red 209, pigment violet 19, and pigment yellow 150. All of those are just crazy colours in their own right. But if you have a look at this, you'll see that again it's just one of those colours that's just like yelling at you, paint me, paint with me. Look at that. There's a million things you can do to that. Add more quinacridone, add an ultramarine blue, the choice is yours. It's another favourite. I mean, instant sunset, look at that. Crazy, crazy yellow. It has just these marvellous, deep, rich, transparent, yolky, sunsetty colours. Everyone's I mean, look at it. It's just sort of this almost lemony yellow thing going on, and then you have this orange sort of underburst. Just yells paint paint with me. There's a million things you could do with it. Adding any of these other... Let's have a bit of fun. Let's see what this does. And I really don't know where this is going to go. It could be complete waste of paint, but never mind. It's all fun. I think it's going to make a really... Oh, do you see that? That for me is what it's all about. Look at that surprise in there. To me, that's sort of reminiscent of porcelain I've seen in the British Museum. It's just... I'm not saying they use those pigments, but it's just colour combinations. Everything from a butterfly wing to, I don't know, a flower. Look at the depth of that. Almost smoky over that blue now. It's all about enjoying the paint. If you enjoy the paint, that reflects in your painting. And therefore it means that you as an entertainer can interest and entertain your viewer as they look at your painting. It's just, oh, gorgeous. Hope you can see that.